Hey, welcome back to IW Outdoors. Tonight I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna be cleaning out my truck. It's been rolling around Shelby County for weeks now with all of my hunting gear and most of my fishing gear in it. So it is kind of trashed and I'm gonna be cleaning it up. And while I'm cleaning up tonight, I'm planning on recapping this past turkey season, remembering some of the hunts I was on, talking about some of the lessons I learned this year while I was turkey hunting, and just kind of going over all that stuff. Fishing gear, guns, Stanley, backpack with turkey calls, camo, vest that I wore today, boots, fishing gear, and then all my stuff from the day up front. So we got plenty to do. We got the gun in, this thermos in, we've got our bag with all kinds of goodies. Load number 2 is in. Final load of stuff is in. ShopVac is low key, pretty awesome AC unit if you're in a bind. I'm not gonna call that perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Look at this beaut. It's so fresh and so clean. You know, like in comparison. Now that the truck's clean, it's time to get the shotgun cleaned up. It's shot a lot of shells through it between patterning early in the season for season shooting. My personal opinion is you don't have to spend a ton of money to clean your guns. So I just buy this stuff, I oil them up real good, clean them, wipe them down, and put them on the wall. So whether that's the right or wrong way to do it, that's how I do it. My sage advice on turkey hunting: you might get one bird really easy. That doesn't mean the second one's gonna come easy. That would probably be one of the top things I could say I've learned. If you want to get a turkey and you're serious about it, then you really need to make an effort to be one of the first guys wherever you're hunting. They're super unpredictable. If you're going out and trying to get a bird like every day of the season, you probably will not have one hunt that's exactly the same as another. Like every time I went out this year, I got something completely different from the birds, completely different from the locations. You're in for a completely different experience every time you go out if you're gonna go turkey hunting all season. If you are able to hunt, get out and hunt. That was probably my downfall. Those are looking pretty clean to me. That was probably my downfall on the second bird this season, was I did not take every opportunity that I was afforded to go out and hunt. I got lazy, I stayed home. I thought getting that second bird was gonna be easy based on my first season experience, and it really wasn't. So my my public service advice: do not take days off. If you go to places where the animals are at and you do the hunting things right, I really think the biggest part of it, probably, at least for me, is just being out there, just making the effort to get out there when you should be out there. I wish I had done more in the area of scouting ahead of time. I think if I had taken the time to really study before 4th season, I think that's really where I missed it. Was, I did all this homework and groundwork. I went out and looked at stuff before 1st season, but then when 4th season came around, though, it was like, I was just on vacation or something. I would recommend going in an earlier season for sure. I think hunting in 1st season is going to be better for me. It was more fun hunting 1st season because of just the dynamics of the birds during 1st season. I think are so much more enjoyable. Like if you get out on a 1st season morning, you're gonna hear them gobble all morning long, and then after they fly down, you're probably still gonna be hearing them gobble, out wherever they're at in a field or something. So I found that very rewarding and enjoyable, just to be out there and around it, because you hear so much action. You're debating on when to go turkey hunting, 1st season or bust. Like if you're gonna just commit to one time, go 1st season. I don't think you'll regret it. Since it's done with the majority of its work for this season, we're just gonna throw her up. So she's back up where she belongs. So one other thing that I didn't even talk about at all during that gun cleanup video is calls on that hunt. I used the diaphragm call, just a strut, like raspy old hen call or something like that. I had it in my mouth, and so when I snuck up, I think I did call a little bit to see if I could get them to come in at all. They were not moving. I don't think they would have come in based on my calling. I mean, I was, sitting in the timber a little ways. They had just come out of there into the field. I don't think they would have come back. That's not a scenario I see going down. But I did notice that once I blasted that tom that was out in the field, one of the two that were with him that did not get shot came running right towards my direction. So I think that they were interested. It just was not enough to get them moved out of that field early in the morning, and I was running out of time, so I didn't wait around to see what that call would do. But they were answering it, they were responsive to that call, so I think that was working pretty well. I didn't post all the hunting I did. I was by myself on the majority of the turkey hunts I did this year. Just a lot of footage of me walking miles of grassy or timberland, or me sitting in one spot for a couple hours at a time. You know, there were a couple cool little things that went on, and I'll post most of that content, but there wasn't enough worth showing to post most of those hunt videos. You know, I used calls all season long, off and on, in different increments and different amounts, different kinds. I used box calls, diaphragm calls, whether it's, you know, the birds just not being responsive, or maybe I'm just not that good on a turkey call. I don't know. I wouldn't say that they made or broke any of my hunts. My experience of public versus private land for a first season, I would say use up your public spots. I feel like once you get later into fourth season, public land really gets spotty just because they've had so much pressure. Private, I mean, it's a similar thing, you know, if you pressure it too much, the birds are going to move on. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts on turkey hunting. It was a lot of fun this year. I'm really glad I took the jump. One other announcement that I wanted to make, I'm going to be taking my first fishing road trip this coming weekend. Hopefully we'll catch lots of fish. Hopefully I'll have some awesome video content to show you. But anyways, that's about all. So, fishing trip, gun on the wall, clean truck. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on IW Outdoors.
Oh man, here's a hen.